This is everything the Legion Go 2 wished that it was. This is the ONEXPLAYER 3. Now, I actually bought this, like everybody else, on Indiegogo, so I've actually had this now for a full week. Honestly, the most surprising thing to me isn't just the raw performance, it's something else that, in my opinion, aids more to how you're actually going to game, and it's pretty big. Now, there's 3 questions I want to ask. Do you want a setup guide? Do you want an HDR calibration guide? And also, do you want a guide showing you exactly how to install XeSS and Xe FrameGen in pretty much any game, even games that don't support them? Let me know down in the comments. Now, normally you would save the negatives till last, but I'm going to hit you with the bad news, and then I'm going to hit you with the really good news. So the first negative is the stand. It's just not great. When you're using it with the keyboard attachment, it's super wobbly. Like, there's just no stability there at all. But without the keyboard, I mean, when it's fully extended, it's pretty sturdy. And if you put it really low, it becomes a wobbly mess. But in saying that, I'm still glad that there is a stand, because no stand at all would kind of suck. I'm one for always wanting my stuff stood up, not laying flat. So the fact there's a stand at all is great, but they totally could have fixed this just by shifting this exact design there. Just put it in the middle. You're not even blocking the fans then, just stick it in the middle. Now, another thing is the joysticks. Now, it's not the tension, we'll get onto that later, it's something else. What we've got here is metal anti-friction rings around the stems, right? Oh, and by the way, I'm using Skull & Co extra convex grips here because they are wicked. I'll probably leave a link in the description if you want to see those. But the metal anti-friction ring around the stem is loose. And what that means is every time you hit the gate, you hear a little click, because that piece of metal is effectively loose around the stick, only for ever so slightly. So when you hit it, this bit of metal is going ching, 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 ching. And that's kind of annoying. Let me just give you a quick listen. Really subtle, but it is there. Now, supposedly you can take these caps off and you could like super glue it or put like a bit of paper or something wedged in between it. But honestly, I've tried pulling these off and mine just do not come off. And I've seen someone on Reddit as well already drop theirs and snap the actual stems off. So I'm not going to try it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Now, one of the concerns I had previously was the D-pad, and we will get onto that. But there is an issue with the D-pad, and that is actually the fact that it squeaks. So when you actually like click it, there's extra travel. So that is kind of annoying. Hopefully you heard that when you're playing in a silent room and you've got the volume really low, like when my wife's watching the TV and I'm just playing on this, I can hear that. It is kind of annoying. Now, this one is also a bit of a weird design flaw, I would say, and that is the USBs are exactly where the exhaust is. The issue being is when you're charging the device, so when you've got a USB cable actually plugged in and you are charging and playing a game for considerable amounts of time, the exhaust makes the USB input get extremely hot. I just feel like if they could have shifted that over there and maybe had the power button and the volume on this side, that would have been better. I don't know if there's going to be any long-term like repercussions from this. Who knows? But right now I've not had any issue. It's just a concern. Now, the big one, which everyone's losing their minds about, is the controller like alignment and wobble. So for me, I would say that is bang on. I know it's probably very, very minusculely out, but I mean, come on, like they're detachable parts. They cannot align like absolutely perfectly, but mine, I would say, are within margin of error. The right side is on there way stronger than the left side. The left side's got a little tiny bit of flex that you can see, but again, it's a detachable part that will have a slight flex to it. Anything that's got like removable controllers, it's going to happen. Now, I have seen far worse examples on Reddit. That was before they started shipping the Indiegogo ones, with specific Chinese natives getting theirs and having some QC issues where this was like massively out. But for me, it's within margin of error, and I've not had any issue gaming on this. I've gamed on this a lot this week, trust me, and I've not had any issue. I don't feel uncomfortable holding it with one hand. As long as I got my fingers underneath taking the strain, that's fine. I would not on any device, hold it with one side and just like dangle it, because this thing weighs a ton. So really, I'm putting this in the negatives, but I'm trying to say it's not a negative for me. Whether it is to you or not is another thing. Oh, and lastly on the negatives, there is a software bug within the ONEXPLAYER software where when you're assigning a separate command, right? So I've gone into, let's say, like usual keys. You can see here, my start is normal start, but if I press the secondary button and start, I've got it to do left control, left shift, and K, right? Trying to set the secondary mode sometimes crashes the software. That's kind of frustrating, but I've noticed if you just quit the software and then restart it, then try reassigning it, it will then work. Now, I want to get into the limbo land. This is both a negative and a positive, and it's nothing really to do with ONEXPLAYER, it's more to do with Intel, right? And that's the fact that Intel Arc G3 Extreme drivers are quick. Like they're pushing them out fast, right? But that's also an issue. So the previous beta driver seemed to be fine, but the like proper release that just happened on the 14th of August is broken, and it breaks HDR entirely. It will then make Windows see the device as a non-HDR panel, and you will not be able to get it to work. So it is kind of frustrating, but hopefully they roll out another driver. But coming from the Z2 Extreme, seeing this like frequently updated drivers from Intel is just a massive welcome here. So it's both a negative and a positive. And now the real positives, right? The real positives are here. And I want to start with something that only the Indiegogo people will get, because I've just had so many questions about it. Andy, what about the AR screen protector? Everybody knows I'm an AR screen protector nut. I've got it on pretty much everything. Even my phone here has an AR screen protector on, right? And people specifically wanted to know what's it like versus the Luck and Link Legion Go 2 screen protector that I've been pushing for a while now. So here in this clip, you can see from my live stream where I did a 3-hour live stream going through so much stuff when the ONEXPLAYER 3 landed. Go check it out, by the way. You can see the original screen protector that comes applied on the ONEXPLAYER 3 is just a standard gloss film screen protector. The AR screen protector came secondary, like in the box. So in that live stream, you can see me comparing the gloss standard non-AR screen protector against the Legion Go 2, which has the Luck and Link AR screen protector on. But now I've actually installed the AR screen protector on the ONEXPLAYER 3, the one that came with it, and it is phenomenal. It's so good. Like, it is so good. But just to compare it against the Legion Go 2, this is the Luck and Link screen protector against the ONEXPLAYER 3's one from Indiegogo. So you can see there is a difference, because the ONEXPLAYER 3 one has a more sort of like purpley blue tinge to it, but you can see that they are pretty much the same. So if I get my face in both of them, they're pretty much the same. I've not seen any color representation like difference. I'm happy enough with the one that came with the ONEXPLAYER 3 to keep this on it. Now the next big one is ergonomics. Now ergonomics, I was a bit skeptical, if I'm honest, because we've got this kind of like pancakey design, and I was like, I just don't know, because I'd not used a ONEXPLAYER before, and I just didn't know how it was going to be, you know. But the ergonomics are really good. Again, if you want to see me going over all the ergonomics versus this against the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, the Xbox Allies, the Switch 2, and the Legion Go 2, check out that live stream, because I actually go through like in real time. But just looking at this in isolation, really nice. Like the controller grips are really big and protruding. It's really smooth in the palm of your hand, which is very important. It's also got this sort of tucked down sort of side here, which again just really aids in ergonomics here. So when you're gripping the thing, it feels really nice. And a big one for me, as always, is I love asymmetrical joystick layouts, but it's always the right stick that causes issues. Now with this one, it's great. So if I just sort of throw it around, naturally rest my hands, you can see my thumb just lands on that joystick fine, and I can shift it down just slightly so I can get on here, and I've not had a single issue with any like games that I've played in terms of like placement. Often they're too cramped over here to the right or whatever. This actually feels great, especially when I'm naturally holding it and actually playing a game. I feel like I've got total control. So ergonomically, I'm actually really happy with it. And the same with the back paddles. The back paddles feel great under your fingers. Like they land straight exactly where you want them to be. The triggers feel really nice. Everything's sort of micro switch just here. The trigger stops are a little bit mushy. So the trigger stops are they're a little bit stiff to put into place, and then there's quite a lot of post travel. But honestly, when you're doing a hair trigger mode, you're just barely touching it to get the input. So I've not had an issue with that. I'm just being picky here. But I do love that it actually goes to an actual micro switch trigger rather than just like a hard stop. So that's a big win. Joysticks then I love them. I absolutely love them. I think they are brilliant. The tension's a little bit tighter than the Legion Go 2, but the Legion Go 2 also has much larger modules, so there's way more sort of overshooting action here because there's just too much movement. On the ONEXPLAYER 3 here, the modules are just ever so slightly smaller, only a little bit, and that just gives me far more control. And that slightly more added tension just feels a lot better as well. So I do like the joysticks a lot. Now the D-pad is one of the concerns that I had previously because it's got this floating design. So it's stepped off. It looks like it's going to be horrible, and it is not. I don't like the one that came free with it, like the replacement, the standard straight cross. It's really hard to remove these, and I'm worried that I'd break the clips doing it. I did it on the live stream, and I'm never going to do it again. I didn't like the cross one. So go check the live stream out if you want to see that. This one I really like. It's really clicky and it feels great. This sort of like slight domey dish bit just feels really good. I like it a lot. And also there's no like missed inputs. When you press down and rock left or rock right, it just feels great. Now I'm not a fighting game guy, but I am a big 2D Metroidvania, like action platformer guy. And I've been loving using this in stuff like Shinobi, games like that, right? Ninja Gaiden, stuff like that. Now, of course, the big one is, of course, the screen. Like the screen. It's got a Legion Go 2 screen. This is everything the Legion Go 2 wished that it was. Because not only do you have this fantastic screen, you've also got the power behind it. And we will talk about that very soon. But the screen itself, if you don't know, is a 16:10, the best gaming aspect ratio, because you get more headroom and like top and bottom room, if you want to call it that. And also, this is a 144 hertz OLED VRR panel with a VRR window of 30 to 144 hertz. That is huge. And it is also HDR as well at 1100 nits. And the thing is just beautiful. I am a big OLED snob. I wasn't before. I've always been fine with LCD panels on handhelds, but when you're paying like as much as these handhelds cost these days, I just feel like everything needs to be OLED. You know, they need to like make up for the extra price that they're paying for the RAM and SSD. Just throw in a free OLED, you know, make everyone even more happy, right? Because these are premium devices. And this, like I said, is literally everything I wanted the Legion Go 2 to be. Better ergonomics, the same fantastic screen, and just way more performance. Like everything about this is just amazing because of that screen as well. Like it really feels like you're getting a top tier device. The screen is fantastic. And I know that other devices that are using the Intel chips, mainly the MSI devices, right, with the previous Claw 8 and the new 8EX, have had issues where the VRR range is capped from 60 to 120 on the MSI, right? However, I can confirm so far in the Intel software on the ONEXPLAYER 3, it is showing that we are getting the full 30 to 144 hertz VRR range. However, I am going to keep an eye on that because some people were saying on the MSI devices after a fresh driver install, it would revert to the full range. And then later it was then switching to 60 to 120. However, I've done the fresh driver installs since, what, the 14th, so a few days ago, and it's still showing as 30 to 144 hertz, so it's a big win. It looks like it's going to be a win. And because this device doesn't have its own sort of FPS overlay, ONEXPLAYER are actually using RTSS for their overlay. We're not getting any weird VRR bugs where that overlay is causing VRR issues, which again is happening on other devices. Now, one thing I didn't realize that I would love is the extra buttons. And you're saying, hang on, Andy, what are you on about? Because the Legion Go 2 has loads of extra buttons. You've got 4 there, like, you know, 4 on the side. You've got 2 extras on the side that I've covered up with this grip, right? There's loads of buttons on that device. And it's true. I am someone that likes more than 2 like adjustable buttons. And the ONEXPLAYER 3 only has 2, right? Well, no, you are wrong. So this button brings up game bar and also the switcher. But the top button here, home button, this home button is to show desktop. Now, I ain't ever going to use that. I'm in Xbox mode all the time on Windows. I don't need show desktop. So that button was irrelevant to me. On this side, we've got show keyboard and the 1X button as well that brings up the side menu. But what they let you do in the software is basically remap anything. And what I've done is, because I like the back paddles being L for L3, R for R3, but I also want a secondary mode so I can rebind everything else for a secondary action. I've bound the home just here as the secondary button. So I can press home and then start, for example, and then the same with this one, which is different. So select is different, and my bumper is different again. So I can actually play games with L3 and R3 or whatever buttons I want here, and then I can do home and then whatever combination I want for secondary actions. And that is a massive win, like an absolute huge win. Now, I'm not going to go into all of this because if you want a setup guide, I'll do it in that video. Let me know down in the comments, right? But the ONEXPLAYER software is just extensive, man. Like, it is extensive in the best way. It's probably going to be a bit much for you if you're new into the handheld PC gaming world. But for me, that's obviously a bit of a, I've been using these for ages now and I like deep diving into settings. There is a plethora of settings to be found and messed with, and I absolutely love it. Like, at first I was thinking, I don't know, it looks a bit complicated. Maybe it looks a bit old, like it's a bit janky. It's none of those things. I really, really enjoyed the software because there's just so much you can do. And now finally, I want to talk about the gaming, right? We want to talk about the gaming because I said at the beginning of this video, there was one thing that shocked me that wasn't the raw performance. Now, I do want to say the raw performance here, the raster performance is absolutely fantastic. And I kind of got a taste of this when I got hands-on with the MSI Claw EX and I did a load of benchmarking. But with that device, it was like a test unit from MSI, right? And they actually had RAM in that device, and it was the slower speed. So if you actually got one of these devices that is the 24 RAM version that's got the slower speed and you're wondering what the performance is going to be like, go check out my benchmark videos from the MSI Claw EX because that's effectively the same spec. This one I've got is the 32GB, the 1TB. I've also got a 1TB mini SSD in the bottom there as well, and this is running at the full 8500 mega transfers per second RAM. But the raw performance is absolutely amazing. Like Shinobi getting over 144 hertz at under 10 watts is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, this is just mad. I know it's a 2D platformer, but I just kept dropping the power. At like 6 watts, the device just becomes like unresponsive because you're just not giving it enough power. But if you set it to 10 watts and then cap your frame rate, it will just use less, right? Which is awesome. If you uncap the frame rate, then it can go up to like 200 FPS at like 10 watts, which is just freaking ridiculous. So for like efficiency, it is wicked because you can just play games at such low power levels. It's really, really cool, especially if you start using the Intel software, which allows you to do endurance mode and all that kind of stuff, which I haven't played around enough with yet, but I certainly will. I'm sure we'll cover it in the future. But it's really impressive as a dedicated handheld gaming PC. Like this is what the Z2 Extreme wished it could be in terms of efficiency and just overall performance. This is like, we're in like real gaming PC level now with the G3 Extreme. I know we were there before with the AI Max 395 and stuff, but to me that wasn't like a dedicated chip designed for a handheld, which the G3 Extreme is. And staying on the raw performance, AAA games can run really well as well. And even at like 20 watts, 25 watts, you're getting really good performance out of specific games. But loads of people kept saying to me, Andy, try games that, it struggles with, like Expedition 33 or, I don't know, like Alan Wake 2. What's it like with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? And I was like, yeah, okay, let's give it a go then. And whilst it was playable, there were certainly some issues. So like Alan Wake is just a chug fest. Like it's not on this device, but I just mean in general, that game is very, very hard to run. And it can run it if you're pushing max power out on the device and you're, just trying to get an acceptable frame rate, and maybe you're using FSR that's built into the game and you're on like performance mode or something. It's totally playable. And the same with like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Totally playable, but I did notice some stuttering here, some stuttering there, and I was a bit like, yeah, okay, fine. Expedition 33, same kind of thing. These are all demanding games, right? But there's one trick up the G3E's sleeve that just makes this ridiculous, and that is XeSS. Both the upscaler and the frame generation. And I kind of want to throw up a little bit because I'm going to recommend frame generation. I hate frame generation. Everybody knows I'm like, raster performance, just lower the resolution down or use upscaling if you can, but avoid frame generation because it's just horrible. Like the amount of artifacts and the input latency, but that's just all gone. It's all gone because the G3 Extreme just here in the ONEXPLAYER 3 actually has hardware-based upscaling, right? So we're not using software-based like FSR. This is like the equivalent of DLSS, effectively, right? Or FSR4, for example, on an actual FSR4 card. This is ridiculous. Like XeSS and the frame gen, which can let you do up to 4 times frame gen, which I laughed at. And I was like, I am never going to use that. The input latency must be like, I press the button, I walk away for half an hour and I come back and it's done. No, like 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, whatever, it's all ridiculously good. And I've done some little hacks here to put in XeSS into basically any game, even if it doesn't support it, like Final Fantasy VII, like Alan Wake, all those kind of things. Hit me up if you want a guide for that down in the comments, right? These games don't support it. Expedition 33 does support native XeSS, and it is just fantastic. So either putting it into games where it doesn't support it natively, or games that do support it natively, even up to 4 times frame generation, where you're running the game at like between 30 and 40 FPS, which again makes me want to throw up that I'm saying that this is good. It's freaking good. Like you're playing the game at over like 120 FPS and it feels like native with their like input latency, like anti-lag, whatever they call it, low latency mode inputted as well. It actually feels really good to play. And I never in a million years thought I would actually say that, but it's true. It makes Final Fantasy VII Rebirth no stutters because I've put XeSS in with the frame gen, but the game is amazing. And the stutters I was getting just running it natively or with FSR built into the game where it was just stuttering all over the place have gone. And the game just runs beautifully smooth. Same with Alan Wake. And even with Expedition 33, where it's built into the game, it just runs so good. So I'm kind of disappointed in myself, kind of shocked, but also kind of really excited about the G3E and the ONEXPLAYER 3 here. I've actually had such a joy playing this for the past like week that I've just been wanting to play. Like I'm actually leaning to like, I just want to pick this up for anything. Like literally anything. With the Legion Go 2, I was like kind of picky about it because certain games just ran like crap. Other games ran good and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll play that then. But with this, I'm kind of not having that fear because I know I can just throw XeSS into the majority of games and it will just make it so much better. It really does. And again, without XeSS, just the base raw performance, stuff like Dusk Fade, which I'm addicted to right now, at like 22 watts or 20 watts or whatever, it is annihilating the Z2 Extreme. It is just absolutely annihilating and it is just freaking cool. That game is amazing. I'm all for those old school like PS2, Xbox 360 platformer vibes. Do I recommend the ONEXPLAYER 3? If you can find it at a decent price, yes. I believe the pre-orders are still available on their website, and after that the price is going to go up again. If you got one on the Indiegogo like I did and you paid the lowest price possible, you're winning hard because this thing is freaking brilliant. Like I love it. Like I absolutely love this device. I don't want to put it down. I want to be playing it right now, but I got to be making this video for you guys, so I hope you appreciate that. I'm really happy with this right now. It is honeymoon period. It's only been a week. Maybe I'll find other stuff as I'm continuing to use it. But yeah, let me know what videos you want to see down in the, I always say description, in the comments. Let me know if you've got a ONEXPLAYER 3. Let me know if you're going with an Acer Atlas 8, you know, the Predator. Let me know if you're going with the MSI Claw EX. Let me know all those kind of things down in the comments. And just be aware that I am going to Gamescom next week in Germany, so the channel is going to be a little bit quiet whilst we're away in Germany for a week, and then videos will resume the following week, right? So just be aware of that. And just let me know everything down in the comments. Anything I've missed, anything you want to see. I'm going to shut up now. Thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe, become a member, and you get to chat to us over on our private Discord. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.